everyone, welcome to the moon in the third house of your chart. Video is good for you if the moon is 3 houses away from ascendant. And you can also use this in a Western chart, but you must make sure you have sign for a house system. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Let's begin. First of all, what is the third house in your chart, everyone? It's a house of your early childhood where you develop an ego. It's about ego development, where that child develops a sense of their own purpose in life and all of the conflict comes in. Think of the terrible twos. Think of a room full of toddlers. Have you ever seen so much fighting and competition? The karaka for the house is Mars. It's where we get out and about, travel, explore local environment, community, neighborhood, etc. It definitely connects us to our siblings strongly, particularly to our younger siblings. There's always that edge of sibling rivalry, though, at the back of this third house issue. It's a house of media and wide-ranging communication, and it shows your communication skills, how good you are at presenting information, making it understood to other people. It's a skill of our hands generally, so skills like carpentry, cooking, all of these things are shown from the third house. And who is the moon? The moon is known as Chandra in the Vedic system. He's the most gentle of all the grahas. He sees no enemy. He is friendly to all. He rules the fourth house of the chart, the mother, the land, the country, and the home. He gives, therefore, a feeling of belonging, security, inclusivity, and happiness. He represents a DNA program in every cell of our body from which we will carry out our karmas in this life. He is also responsible for our food and our nourishment, indeed for the very air that we breathe. He therefore represents the very health of our body and our longevity. He is, of course, Manas, the mind. Therefore, he has everything to do with our impressions of life, our memories, and indeed our emotions. So is the moon in your third house a good position? Well, it definitely shows a lot of talent and ability, but emotionally it can be a little bit challenging. The most important thing, though, is what is a sign of the moon. That will give the final result. Check the video on my channel, Moon Karmas in All Signs. I will post that below and at the end. In fact, the moon position at birth is so important to everyone that we draw a whole chart known as Chandra Lagna from the position of the moon, and we judge the planets from that. Check the video on my channel, the moon chart, to understand more about that. Again, I will post below and at the end. Now, the moon in the third house, the moon is your mind, gives a really active mind. You can imagine, because it's a house of non-stop communication, travel, activity. Your mind is always seeking something new to get to grips with. Your mind is ever active, analyzing with a fantastic intellectual power. When the moon is strong by sign, it gives you a very inquisitive nature to get to the bottom of any studying you are doing. So it's a very good intellectual position if the moon is not too afflicted. When the moon is afflicted, it scatters your mind, causes a lot of distraction in your mind. It can even make it hard to focus. But most people with this moon in the third house, though, are good communicators, very, very confident communicators. Again, the more affliction, it can be a little bit more, let's say, strong way of communicating, a little bit harsh speech sometimes. But generally, the moon here gives you an ability to get in touch with the public. Your speaking voice can be excellent. You have a real knack for putting across information in an easily understandable manner with a great deal of charisma sometimes. It's a house of writing, and moon is imagination. We know where it's going to go. What a fantastic writer of fiction. What a fantastic writer in any way where you put across information in a storytelling way. You are very, very good in media, journalism, all of these careers. It's a house of skill, so the moon being here is very, very important for singers, actors, performers. You put your heart and soul into your skill base, and you can have a wide public appeal, even fame, with this third house moon. In fact, the moon is our emotion and our neediness. So the moon in the third house, you actually need to be listened to. If you really think about it, you like to be noticed, to be listened to. You've just got something to say and you want people to hear it. It's an absolute push inside of you. On the other hand, if you feel ignored, that you're not being listened to, you get very temperamental, very upset indeed, and actually highly argumentative. Moon in the third house is a bit of an arguer. You do not mind debating, arguing your point, and you'll always do so. There's a little bit of a toughness with this moon third house actually, because the karaka for the house is Mars. So in most charts then, the moon here gives a restlessness, a desire to be out and about in society. But there is a special factor about this moon because it is in the 12th house to the 4th house. And the 4th house is the natural home of the moon, the sign of Cancer. One effect of this is that the communication with the mother will in some way be disturbed, or even the mother may be lost to you in extreme circumstance. With the moon being behind the natural 4th house, there's a real push to go into foreign land, to travel. And this is something which is emotionally necessary to you, but it doesn't always give you stability of mind. To actually settle there is not generally seen by this moon 3rd house. You would need to confirm with the Lord of the 4th house and Lord of the 12th house to see foreign settlement. The greatest difficulty though with the moon in the 3rd house is the emotional unsteadiness. Emotionally, it's actually quite challenging. It gives quick emotional reactions, quick emotional push virtually to anything which you do, and therefore moon in the 3rd is prone to making mistakes in life by impulsive behavior. It's very important, therefore, to try to slow down with this moon. It's not easy, but you should try to do that. Meditation can also help you. A very afflicted moon here can show that you cannot even focus energy, daily tasks. You're always multitasking, doing too many things, and in the end, nothing at all ends up being completed. It certainly gives you very strong emotions, which you always verbalize, that's for sure. And the mind itself can be not at peace. That's why, as I said, meditation can be helpful. So finding some way to get peace in your mind, finding some way to slow yourself down will create harmony with your relationships and harmony within. In some ways, siblings, perhaps sometimes younger siblings especially, are very emotionally important to you. There may be disputes and difficulty though when the moon is afflicted. Now the 7th aspect of the moon is onto the 9th house. Therefore you need and emotionally connect to higher philosophy in life. You need to study religion, philosophy, higher systems of belief, and definitely education is extremely important to you. However, moon is unsteady and changing in this 3rd house, so sometimes education is not completed or there is difficulty finding true happiness on the educational course. Unless you are connected emotionally to what you are studying, you just cannot focus your mind. The 9th house is a house of father, teachers, mentors. So the moon opposing here can show that you are literally opposed to what your father wants you to do, what your teachers want you to do. You always want to go your own way. So arguments can occur. But generally, with benefics impacting, there can be a strong bond with the father, but some difficulty in communicating that can be seen. Now, the 7th house away from the moon shows what you're looking for in a spouse. In the natural zodiac, this would be Sagittarius. Sometimes spouse is actually from foreign shores, but more than likely, it's someone with whom you can discuss higher philosophy, religion, deep ideas, politics even. You need to have this stimulating communication with your spouse. A very mundane, boring, everyday life sort of relationship is not ever going to satisfy you. Spouse may be sometimes found in higher educational endeavors or in philosophical groups, etc. One thing for sure, you enjoy traveling with the spouse, exploring life together. If you have this stimulation, it can help the relationship to survive. Check the karmas of your moon sign up on your screen now, moon karmas in all sign, and also, of course, please check the secrets of the moon chart. Goodbye for now, and God bless everyone.